All right, man, peace. So there is a huge fight that's going to be coming up this August to unify the belts at the 140-pound weight division involving Terence Crawford, who's pretty much counted in the very least in the top 10 pound for pound by boxing aficionados and boxers and people who enjoy the sport in general, and a boxer from South Africa named Ndongo. I believe his name is Julius Ndongo. He holds two of the belts. Terence Crawford holds two of the belts. In August, they're going to meet. Whoever wins is going to consolidate the rulership of that weight class. I anticipate it being Terence Crawford. And once he wins those belts, it will precipitate his movement most likely up to the 147-pound division. So now he was on hand at the Lomachenko versus Mariaga fight. He's there to be interviewed by Mr. Stephen A. Smith, as well as Julius Ndongo being there to be interviewed. Let's see what happens. Of course, I'm going to chime in.
Another big fight night coming to ESPN. Terence Crawford, Julius Ndongo. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. And a lot sticks out here, both unbeaten. Crawford's got a little bit more knockout power, but Ndongo is no slouch whatsoever. And what's amazing about this fight, 4 world titles on the line in the junior welterweight division. And it is our pleasure now to bring in the 2 fighters that we will see August the 19th, Terence Crawford, Julius Ndongo. Guys, this is a big-time fight. There's a lot at stake. Julius, you're coming to Nebraska to fight Terence. What does this fight represent to you?
So, to me, it represents a lot because it's an historic fight that's happening. So, whereby I would feel more humble and happy to get such opportunity in my life.
I'm very happy to have the opportunity for the fight. I hope that I can win.
Terence, I've got to ask you this because obviously Ndongo is not somebody to be underestimated, and being the great champion that you are, I'm quite sure you're not underestimating him. But I'm wondering how difficult of a fight do you anticipate this may be, particularly when everybody's calling you one of the greatest fighters in the world, and you obviously have bigger things or a grand division on the horizon. Could you talk to me about how tough this fight may be for you in your eyes because of all of the other circumstances associated with it?
Let me say this. I believe that Terence Crawford is one of the top fighters in the world. I'll probably rank him either number 2 or number 3 on the pound for pound list right now, after Ward and maybe one other fighter. Maybe a Keith Thurman, maybe a Lomachenko. Even though Lomachenko has to accomplish a lot more, just his skill set, he deserves to be somewhere in that conversation. But this is a big fight for Terence Crawford, man. He has to win this fight. I haven't seen Ndongo fight, but I mean, if he has the normal African style, he most likely wears the earmuffs. When I say he wears the earmuffs, he probably has both his gloves up by his head. He walks forward like a mummy. Right? Not trying to denigrate the style. I'm just saying that's how most African fighters fight. He's most likely flat-footed, hard jab, most likely very aggressive, good chin, a lot of heart, great conditioning. So if that's the normal, the prototypical, the stereotypical African style, then, Terence is going to have to be in great shape. He's going to have to give him angles. Most likely he's going to turn southpaw around the 3rd round and see where he can capitalize.
Well, I know it's going to be tough being that Ndongo coming in here with a lot of confidence. He went over there to Russia and went over there to Ricky Burns' hometown and defeated those 2 champions, and he's coming over here to Omaha, Lincoln, Nebraska, so it shows his character. So I'm prepared for whatever he brings to the table in 2 weeks.
Julius, what concerns you? What are you working on right now in your camp to prepare for Terence, who, based on all accounts, and I'm sure you know better than all of us, is one of the best fighters, certainly at 140 pounds?
I'm preparing for everything. For my conditioning, I'm chasing after Gazelle. I feel if I'm faster than Gazelle, I'm faster than Crawford. Crawford very good, but I spar with lions. I beat lions, I beat Crawford.
Actually, it's not easy to step into this victory. So we are just polishing up the last things that are remaining on us regarding on the weeks that are on. We still stick on our game plan and on our training that we have been going through. So far everything is in position. We have no any left.
I'll come back to you. I want to know when we.
Damn, Stevie, the man's in the middle of his answer. You just gonna cut him off like that? Shit. I mean, I know that the man is soft-spoken, but there's no need to cut him off like that. Now, Julius Ndongo, he's from one of those South African countries. I'm trying to remember which one, South Africa or Namibia. One of those South Africa. I believe it's Namibia. And for those of you brothers in the knowledge, the people today that inhabit South Africa, they're known in the scriptures as the Philistines. All right, the Philistines. They were the ones who always in combat with the Israelites when you read, 1st, 2nd Samuel, so on and so forth. Anyway, eventually they migrated down into southern Africa. They became known as the Zulus and those other assorted tribes like Shaka Zulu and those people. They were descendants of the Philistines.
Obviously here tonight getting ready to watch Lomachenko do his thing, and we expect that he'll have a dominant performance even though anything could happen. But people talk about him a lot these days and say he may be best pound for pound. We've heard the name Andre Ward, obviously Triple G. He's got Canelo Alvarez September 16th. Where do you see yourself in the pantheon of boxing right now? Do you consider yourself to be #1 best pound for pound in the world right now?
So right now I got myself at #2.
When Stephen A. asked that question, do you consider yourself #1 pound for pound? And Ndongo was about to answer. I really do. I think I train hard every fight, and I fight lions. I run with cheetah.
But after this fight, I'll be looking to be #1.
You get a front row seat for this fight, Terence. We don't know what the future holds. Obviously, your thoughts are with Ndongo, but what do you see in Vasyl Lomachenko that makes him such an effective and star power fighter?
It's amazing, man. When the fighters are non so-called black, how they hype them up so hard, man. And look, Lomachenko is a great fighter. He has a great skill set, but most of his fights have been showcase fights. Now, to give him full credit, he went in there against a guy who was considered a top prospect in Gary Russell and totally embarrassed him. So that's why I say all due respect to Lomachenko. I would have him in my top 3 around there. And only because he really hadn't done enough to be, even considered to challenge a guy like an Andre Ward for the #1 spot, right? Or even a Terence Crawford. But it's amazing how they ask these other fighters about fighters when they're not, or when they're non-so-called black. They did the same thing with Pacquiao, and you can see they're doing the same thing with Lomachenko. And once again, Bob Arum. Bob Arum knows how to promote these guys, man. Lomachenko. Oh, man, you're white? Love it. Love it. When you're white, I can sell you better than I can sell any other hoe. Love it. Cha-ching.
Oh, just his skill set. He make it seem like everything going in slow motion in the ring. And the way he dissect his fighters, moving side to side, and the punch selection.
Anything you guys want to say to each other? This may be the last time you're this close before you fight August the 19th.
Not really.
All right.
It's amazing to me that they got them sitting next to each other like that. These dudes about to fight, man. It's good that Ndongo seems to have a very serene personality, because Crawford is a live wire, even though he looks real calm there. He's the type of dude that will whoop your ass right there in the interview.
All right, we will look forward to that. Hey, very soft-spoken right now. We could respect that, but August 19th, they'll be talking with their hands. Terence Crawford, Julius Ndongo.
I like the fact that they're talking to one another. I like it. That's the way it should be.
They wouldn't even look at each other.
That's the way it should be. It doesn't bother me at all.
Well, Crawford wouldn't look at him, and Ndongo looked over there a little bit, but they're ready.
I like it.
All right,
Good luck.
And listen, this is historic. I think it's the 4th time that there's 4 title belts at stake, so this is going to be a historic opportunity between two guys unbeaten. It could be a
That's why I said this is a big fight, man. They're looking to unify the division. Whoever wins this fight is going to unify the division. This is big for Crawford's legacy. He has to win this fight, because if he wins this fight, then he can move up to 147 and be considered a top dog right off the bat. Right? He should have an immediate chance as a #1 ranked contender for, you know, at least one belt at 147. Most likely the WBO belt, because that will be the easiest one for him to acquire, because WBO right now is held by the Australian dude Jeff Horn that beat Pacquiao. So that would probably be the belt that Crawford targets first, if and when he beats Ndongo, because I don't believe that they're going to be able to make the Mikey Garcia fight at 140. I don't think that's going to happen. Too much beef between the promotional companies and the networks, and but you never know. Mikey talks a good game, and he acts like he's a free agent, so we'll see. But this is a big fight for Crawford. He has to win this one.
Be a really fun fight.
No question about it. Terence Crawford is clearly one of the best in the world. He is absolutely special. And Ndongo, I haven't seen him two of his last 3 fights. He had a first-round knockout. Let's see what he brings to the table. Let's see what he has in store, because we all know that Terence Crawford is the real deal. We don't know if he's the real deal or not, but he is undefeated with 11 KOs and 2 titles. Let's give him the respect that he deserves and see what happens.
This is the way you're supposed to spend a Saturday night.
How about that?
A little fight. It's a lot of fun. Stephen A. Max Brothers will get ready with much more coming out of LA. The main event featuring.
But yeah, we'll see what happens. Big fight August 19th. Huge for Crawford's legacy, and it will precipitate much bigger fights on the horizon for him. The 147-pound weight class is going to have a lot of major fights over the next 2 years. It's going to be interesting to see what guys like Danny Garcia do, because, you know, he likes to operate from the standpoint of the A side. I believe that he's in talks for a fight with Sean Porter. Danny Garcia has to be very careful. If he loses to Sean Porter, he becomes a gatekeeper like his boy Adrian Broner. All right, it's just a fact of the matter. Because if he loses this fight, now he has to win a fight before he even gets a chance at a title. All right, if he beats Porter, the next fight for Garcia will most likely be for a belt. All right, but he would have to either beat Keith Thurman, or he'll have to in a rematch, or he have to fight the Phantom, the demon of the division, Errol Spence. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, peace.